Warning, warning. This is a global ice out. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing the left speaker. Left. Sound successfully recovered. Swan Commander. Connected. And now, the countdown has begun. And now, are you ready for a journey that goes beyond the norms? The Federal Prospects Hockey League just celebrated its 15th anniversary. With a footprint and fan base rapidly expanding, Swan Hockey is now bringing you behind the scenes. Beyond what you see at games. Beyond the arenas. Beyond the crowds. This is FPHL, Beyond the Glass.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass. I'm your host, Eric Swanek, Swan Commander on social media. We have another playoff preview episode for you. This time we will be joined by Matt Graham, the head coach and general manager of the Port Huron Prowlers. Let's get into it. What's going on, Matt? Welcome back to the podcast. How's everything going?
Good. It's been a while, huh?
I know. Yeah, you weren't on. Oh, yeah, it's been since summer.
Yeah, I think right before the season we did the team preview, and it seems like the season's just flown by, to be honest. So
I know. And then we had Reed Cooper on probably about a few months ago now, and glad to have you back.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah, for sure. So heading into playoffs, you guys are sitting in second place. Should finish in second place, I would think. What's going on in Port Huron?
Yeah, it was exciting. We actually locked up, second place last weekend, so we have home ice in the first round. That was a goal of ours from the summer to have home ice advantage, or at least for the first round, finish in one of the top two spots, and give ourselves the best chance of moving deeper into the playoffs than we did last year.
Yeah, for sure. And how big is it to finish in that spot and to, obviously, during the summer series, everybody was always saying how Binghamton was a team to beat. And is it nice to not have to play them the first round? Not necessarily, being afraid of them or anything, but just by not having to play them in the first round, it gives the opportunity for an upset in the first round. Maybe somebody else knocks them out. Who knows? Yeah,
I mean, it's I think, you have to, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, right? So, we know along our journey to a championship, we're going to have to beat some pretty good teams. And it's only going to get better as you go deeper into the playoffs for sure too, right? So, we've been preparing for this all year. We've been, trying to go day by day and just take things one day at a time. And, we'll attack Blue Ridge or Topeka or whoever's in the first round, and then whoever's in our way in the second round, we'll move on to them, and we'll put a game plan together, and give ourselves the best opportunity to beat them as well. So whether it's Binghamton or whoever, it's just a stepping stone along the way, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the journey. So, obviously first year under the new ownership and everything, you guys have had a lot of goals, a lot of plans. It looks like a lot of them have been met. Why don't you talk a little bit about the journey, from the opening and the training camp to how you guys, got there today, or got here today, and kind of what's been different from other, from past years, maybe, just kind of, just take us through the journey.
Yeah, I think the vision of the whole thing is the biggest difference for sure, right? So, we started out this summer, early in the summer, not knowing what was going on, and then Ken came in, and he really gave us all the tools that are needed to be successful here in this market. He gave us, the resources that we need to have success, whether it was, off the ice or on the ice. Like right now, for example, I'm sitting in our brand new team store. So this is an area of the arena that was unused before. And now, we have a walk-in experience where people can come in and touch the new merch, and they can try things on. And it's not just looking through a window as like it was before, right? So this is just one of the many things. The biggest changes, off the ice, the projectors, those are awesome. Those have been utilized as well too. Every game we have a story that goes on, and it kind of just builds and elaborates as like the season progresses, right?
That's cool.
Kind of with the journey of the team. We've utilized that. We've had other community members utilize that as well too. So it's been a resource not just for us, but for other events and stuff that come into the arena as well. The stability of everything has taken a lot of stress off everyone, I would say, whether it's myself or Paulie or Johnny or Will. The fact that we can focus more on the things that are important for us to be successful, right? So like Will has a lot on his plate still, but Will can make sure that his broadcast is the best broadcast in the league, right? Paulie, Johnny, and myself can focus on the players and the concepts and things in the development of what we want to do, and we can make sure that we're constantly taking strides in that department, and then winning hockey games as well too, which has been like I said, this is the first time. Will actually said this the other day on the broadcast, but it's the first time since 2017-18 that we've broken over 100 points. So that's something that we're proud of as well too, and huge accomplishment. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to mention that before, the 100 points, like that's huge. I mean, I imagine that's got to be a breath of fresh air, being able to just focus more on the actual hockey part and that kind of stuff, and just like what kind of the new mentality that new ownership brings, a different mentality. I imagine it's got to be nice to be able to focus more on those things, like you said.
Yeah, 100%. I think we were just kind of like bogged down with a bunch of different stuff over the past like few years, where we had to make sure that everything was ready, or if not, then like at some point the organization could have just like failed, so it was like it was a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. And now, like I said, I mean, like, it's not just like the resources, but like, it's the people that we have involved now too. Like our staff is, doubled. We have a lot of extra help, and we have a lot of extra departments that are fulfilling, other areas of the business that, like I said, that it needs to be filled to have success. So it's been a learning experience for sure too. I mean, like, I think we're kind of, learning as we grow. And I think, it's exciting because it's just building for the future. And, I think, this year was like as great as it was. I think like, next year is going to be even better, and we're going to continue to take strides forwards. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like, and, like obviously as the league grows, the organization's got to grow with it. And, it's obviously like that's what you guys have been doing. What's been the difference? Like, you say like you've had more time to be able to, focus on, the hockey part and that kind of stuff. What's been some of the difference that you've been able to do on that side in terms of like, whether it's like practice prep or more game film or more, game prep or whatnot? Like, what's been some of the differences where it's been like, oh, this is awesome, we get to do this year, and we're seeing a direct translation into the, the players that maybe the fans don't realize?
Yeah, I think, I mean, like you said, like practice prep, game prep, a lot more time to, break down video, use it for development for the players as well too. I think about like back to last year, and, we were kind of all dabbling in like every area of the broadcast, or not the broadcast, every area of the organization. And there was weeks that I was like, Paulie, if you don't go out and make a corporate sale, like I don't know how we're gonna go on beyond next week. So we had to drop everything and do whatever we had to do to make sure that we could continue to exist. And now there's as you can see as well too, and I'm sure you'll touch on this in a bit or whatnot, but now we've had even more time to recruit as well too. So we've been able to bring in even better players. We've been able to spend more time with the players we do have, and I think seeing those guys grow throughout the course of the season, and seeing our vision come to life of like the culture we've put together here, and the mentality that we have, it's just been really awesome, because it wouldn't have been able to be done without that extra time that we've been able to put into it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like what you mentioned, like years past and stuff, like with that corporate sale example, like that's so much pressure like that. I don't think people at home realize like, how much pressure sometimes people are under. And I've been in that situation before at the junior level, where it's like, kind of like, hey, we don't know how we're going to pay for the bus this weekend. It's like, anybody,
hey, you get it.
Somebody's got to do something, like, it's a lot of pressure, but I think that's also like a testament to you and the other staff. You guys always found a way to get it done. I mean, the organization's been there for, you guys have always, you've always gotten the job done, and it's awesome to see like what, now that again, like with the stability, like what you could do, now with this extra, stability and the extra time to actually put towards the hockey. You mentioned the recruiting. You guys just had a couple of, or three, massive signings, right from Division One NCAA. Like those guys, I imagine are going to help, a good amount. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Like how you got them, what you expect them to bring, and just kind of the impact they'll have going forward, and it was genius move, by the way. Like we can get into that in a second, but yeah, like why don't you talk a little bit about how it came to be?
Yeah, it's it's something we've always utilized. Not trying to give away all our secrets or whatnot, but it's something we've always utilized at the end of the season, is trying to bring in high level college guys who can help bolster our roster, and help us go on a long playoff run. I think you've seen it over the last few years. If I think back, we added a couple years ago. We added Connor Foley, who was a 100-point scorer out of Division III. Chase McCardle, I think that same year as well too, who was a physical presence back on the blue line. And then the next year we were able to grab players like and I don't want to forget anyone, but like Brett Lockhart and Jeremy Rancourt. Those guys were huge for taking us to the next step, coming out of like a great organization like Plymouth State. And then last year we were able to grab, what was it, 4 or 5 guys from Trine University who actually competed in the national tournament last year, and then got all those guys in here. And Bobby Price, one of those guys that we got, was our leading scorer in the playoffs last year, right? So as a staff, this offseason, we talked about what we were going to do come college deadline time. And I challenged Chris Paul, and I said, hey, I think this is the year that we need to bring in Division I hockey players. I think the league has been slowly making strides in the right direction. If you look at like teams like Monroe, Athens, they've grabbed guys from the ECHL and or PD even, right? And those guys have become season-long regular players here, right? This league is starting to become recognized as a league that's one of the prominent leagues in the U.S., and it's growing and taking steps in the right direction. If you look at a team like Binghamton, right? They found a way to grab full-time SP players the last couple seasons and make them full-time FPHL players. So I mean it's definitely a tactic that's been being used. We just kind of had like a different thought process of how we wanted to go about it, how we were going to get these good players, and, how we could find guys, and these are guys that might not have gotten opportunities in the ECHL, but they sure as hell are very close to ECHL players. So we made it our mission to go out and grab them, and a guy like Grayson Dietrich comes in, scores 4 goals in his first game. He was the guy that was more of a depth player at Niagara University, and that's Paulie's alma mater too. So there's a connection there, obviously. So we were able to Paulie was able to spend a lot of time on him and talk to him and get him to commit to coming. And then Johnny Larkin back on the point. He's a guy that spent 3 years at Ohio State University. And then, senior year transferred to Mercyhurst for some more playing time and better opportunity. And we were able to, connect with him. And he was a guy that, was excited about this opportunity as well, too. I don't want to forget, but Gagnon as well out of Fredonia State. We added him a few weeks ago. He wasn't able to commit full time, so it was kind of a thing where we would use him as needed. Then Jammer as well too. Adrian, ACHA Division I. Good program, always in the national tournament. We're able to grab that guy as well too, and he's he fought last game, opening draw, and he's a big physical guy who he's making an impact as well too. And I don't want to forget about the last one, but Ryan Anderson or Ryan Alexander. He's out of Colorado College. A perennial great program, right? HA, and they're a top program in the state or in the country. Played 3 years at ASU. He's a guy that when we connected with him, he's just an awesome dude. He's a great personality. He's funny as hell. He's a good guy in the locker room, and like an unbelievable hockey player. So he's got great instincts. He's a smart player who adds to our lineup as well too, obviously, right? So excited to get all those guys. It's like I said, it was our mission to add high-end players at the end, and we were able to do so this year.
Yeah, and I think it was very smart, because one of the things we've it's been kind of a consistent topic on, this show the last couple months leading into the final stretch and playoffs is about how it's so important for the team to get hot at the right time. And I think that's really smart that you guys took that into the recruiting where, okay, where are we going to focus our, recruiting efforts and resources and whatnot? Okay. We want to identify that, hey, we want to put a lot of these efforts into the end of the season and getting the right guys in here and make sure that we're hot come playoff time. It's again, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. And I think this was a very smart way to do it.
Yeah. It's not to be forgotten about too, but the guys that we added in the summer as well too, like those guys, getting Nick Favaro in trade, adding Connor Brazell, guys like that. And then the guys that we recruited as well, getting Bobby Price back from the SPHL, Timmy Oregon, all these guys, having Jamie Bussell return, Ben Brockway is like the lifeblood of the organization. These guys are the ones that set the stage for this too, right? So
100%.
It's great to have such a close knit, tight group of guys that all have the same common goal. Everyone here just wants to win, right? So we're excited to add guys of this caliber, and everyone's just pulling the rope the same way. So it's been awesome to see, and it's those guys that really laid the foundation for this too.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's everybody obviously plays a role and is a part. And I think it's just an interesting, just the way that you guys are managing the team and okay, when to pull what strings, right? Nobody's going to win a championship in November, right? It's all right, we don't have to win the cup in November. We got to get ourselves to this point and we're going to pull this string, get ourselves to that point, pull this string. And you guys have, and those players that you just previously mentioned got you to the point where you're at now, where it's okay, we're going to pull that final string and really make a run for it. And I think it's, everybody plays a crucial part. And, those guys definitely, crucial. Can't forget about them for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy too to think about. Last year in the playoffs, we played 6 games, right? So we played 3 games in the first series against Danbury, 1 in game 3, and then obviously beat Binghamton here at home in game 1, and then lost the next 2. But we had every single rostered player play in that playoff series. So it's crazy because injuries and different matchups and things like that. Playoffs are a crazy time. So you need to have as many guys as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's you need the depth too. I think if you talk to any, any championship team, any coach, there's something special, where you just know it when the depth is clicking. It's all right, we have a chance to do something special here. You usually can't win without the depth on the roster. So everybody is so important. I think it was one of the Florida Panther teams that said that their depth, they believe, was the reason that they won the Stanley Cup, that they don't win it without them. And it's so true. Everybody plays such a crucial, everybody's a piece to the puzzle, and the puzzle doesn't exist without every piece.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you think about last year, even in the playoffs with our goaltenders, we had Reed Cooper, stud, right? And then we had Valtteri Nusiainen, and they alternated games that year. And then you got Yoshi, who was our third guy all year, and he was great backup, and he played a prominent role as well too. I think you see teams Binghamton trying to add other goaltenders to the fold, whether it's because they have the opportunity to, or they're unsure about what they have. But it's awesome, and I think it just speaks to that, right? All these teams are trying to add depth here down the stretch for sure.
Yeah, because like we said, I think you need it to win, to win championships, and especially like you said, with injuries and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, how hard is it with some of the college guys coming into the league? Obviously players that you guys have probably never seen before, haven't seen a lot of before. How much emphasis, and without giving away too much, how much emphasis do you put on learning about those players or checking into them, maybe seeing what their tendencies are or whatnot, especially maybe the goalie position? You see somebody pick up a goalie, it's all right, do we, how much time do you spend learning about that guy that is pretty much a brand new face to almost everybody in the league?
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously our pre-scouts and stuff take care of that, but when it comes to our own recruiting and stuff, we spend weeks watching guys on video. We do our due diligence, we watch them, we that's one of the things that Paulie does a really good job at too, is connecting with them, and knowing their game inside and out, right, before you talk to them as well too. So I mean, there's a lot of time spent calling these guys and researching them to make sure that we know we're bringing in the right people that are like-minded and have aligned goals with us as well too. So there's a ton of video that's watched. We know everything about these players before we bring them in, and that's why they fit in so well once they do get here. When it comes to other teams, obviously, want to see who they're adding as well too, and we watch video on them weekly to prepare, and excuse me, we do our due diligence on them as well too.
Yeah, for sure. And what was I going to ask you? I just had something else for you. I forget where I was going with this. You were saying watch a video. Oh, yeah. So like in terms, like, all right, so that's a great point. You mentioned knowing these guys inside and out before you bring them in. So everything we're talking about, bringing guys in at the deadline and how they could be, a great boost and a compliment to what's already been built and what's already been working all year long. Like that's a double-edged sword, because if that's wrong, it could go real wrong at the complete wrong times. Like I think that's a very interesting point with how you in terms of like being sure that, okay, this is the guy, he's going to fit what we like. In terms of playing style, he's going to fit our dressing room, personality, everything, because it's like everybody kind of sees like the upside to this, but there's so much work that goes into it on your end to make sure that, hey, like this is going to work, because if this doesn't work, boy, could this be bad.
Yeah, and that's been the great part about like having new ownership too. Is like I said earlier on, we're able to spend time watching these guys. Paul, Johnny, myself, we spend hours watching these guys on video, trying to see where they fit in exactly, what kind of impact they can make, and can they play against like this particular opponent, or what situation will they thrive in, and how do we make sure that they're successful when they get here too. And then talking to like obviously previous coaches and things like that about like what kind of people they are, or other players as well too, trying to figure out and make sure it's a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, like you guys there, and this is something I wanted to mention earlier, like you guys there in Port Huron, you guys have a very, very distinct team identity, right? Like everybody knows what a Port Huron team is like. Like you got, you guys are tough. You're tough customer to play against. You can't ever take a night off against Port Huron, which I think is cool. With all these changes that we've mentioned, and with the new ownership, and with the, moving forward, like progressing as the league's progressing, you guys have maintained your identity. Like you've been able to kind of take that same Port Huron brand of hockey that the fans know and love, and just keep that moving into the future as everything else around it is evolving.
Yeah, it's that's and that was important too to Ken when he came in and met with us. He was he was very direct with us about, hey, what I want to do is I want to give you guys the resources to continue to build this and to be successful. I'm not trying to change like the Port Huron brand or style of hockey. We've had success, like we've been building this for years, right? So like
Yeah.
it's we've been, if I look back 3, 4, 5 years ago, we have similar playing style and similar types of players, and the foundation of all that is built on guys like Dan Chartrand, who's in the SP now, Tucker Scantlebury, who obviously is having a lot of success in Monroe, and then they've kind of laid the foundation for the guys that are here now, like Ben Brockway, and the high energy guys and the leaders in the room. Like when you look at like Buck and Reed Cooper and Favs, all these guys, it's those guys that created this brand of hockey, and now we have a bunch of guys buying in, right? Vinny DeCumbus has been here for 4 or 5 years, and he gets scrappier and scrappier every game that we watch now too. So it's like, it's been awesome to see. And it's the players end up like evolving into the identity that the team is.
Yeah. It's awesome. What's the biggest thing that you're looking forward to with playoffs? Like obviously when playoff time rolls around, it's like, everybody gets like giddy, like it's Christmas time. Like what's the biggest thing, like just you personally, that like, what's your favorite thing about playoff time?
Yeah, I think the intensity of it for sure. It's they're short series, so you got to be dialed in. I'm trying to. It's exciting for sure. It's nerve wracking. I just want to. I think everyone in here, is on the same page, and we're just keeping our eye on the mission, and
Yeah.
trying to make sure that we are best prepared to have success when that Wednesday rolls around for game one.
Yeah. How about like favorite playoff memory?
Favorite playoff memory? I don't know. I could date myself, but I can go back to this is a long time ago, and I won't give all the specifics of it. But so I won a championship in Slovakia. That was a great playoff memory. We had a 7-game series all the way through, so that was awesome. But my favorite playoff memory in this league is probably the year before I went over there was 2013, and we ended up. It was 4 teams in the league at the time, and they made 2 play 3 to see who goes to the finals. So
Okay.
we're in Watertown, New York, and we had to move all of our stuff out of our apartment, and then we ended up having to drive down to Dayton, Ohio, and play best of 3 series down there. And I don't think anyone thought we were going to win a game because they only had the hotels booked for one night. We end up losing game 1. We win game 2. And then they had to scramble to find us hotels at a Motel 6. And we ended up going there, and I don't think we had enough rooms because we had guys sleeping on the bus that night. But yeah, like the odds are stacked against us. Danbury and Dayton were the top 2 teams in the league. We had to play, guys like Ahmed Mahfouz, and then Joe Pace was on Dayton at the time. Who else? I don't know. I mean, guys like Chris McCarthy were on my team. Brent Clark was the player coach at the time.
Okay.
So, it's and then so we lose game 3, and then it was just funny because we were dropping guys off because there's nowhere to go back to. So we're dropping guys off at airports along the way or bus stops, and that was it. There's no goodbye to the guys. It was just like, hey, if you make it all the way back, you're probably going to be one of the only ones that are back there. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's awesome. Do you guys have any anything going on in the locker room? Like I know some teams will have picture the cup or whatever that they put a piece on every win they get. You guys have anything going on in the room?
Yeah, we have a board that we put pucks in, and some of the leaders a few years ago made that. Fets, and then Buck, and I think B-Way had a piece in that. Maybe Tux or Shards, I don't remember. But so we have one of those that we put the win pucks in, and then I guess the funny thing that we do is after every win, we plant the flag in the middle of the locker room. So that's a joke from the end of the last year. That's kind of carried on with tradition, and it's been something we've just embraced.
Yeah. Who plants it? Do you guys pick like a player of the game? Is it
player of the game? Yeah, the boys will select a player of the game, and then he gets to plant the flag. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
They won't let us do it on the ice, so we got to do it in the room.
Yeah, no, you got to do it somewhere, right? I mean, it's that's like one of the best things is like some of those little traditions that normally like people like nobody else really knows about, right? And like obviously we're letting the fans in on this one and everything, but like that's like part of the best part of the game is like those little traditions that like even something so little, like I'll bet you guys are going crazy when that flag is planted in the middle of the room every night, right? Like just something little that's just so much fun for the team.
Yeah, it's the guys really rally around it, and it gets them excited and whatnot. But I think Aiden, our videographer, he's done a really great job of capturing behind the scenes stuff, and that's something that we wouldn't have had in the past either. But he's made some like post game videos and some highlight reels and stuff like that, where you get locker room content and things like that, and that's been great for fans as well too. I think he posts them all on our Facebook and our Instagram page. But he's done a really great job with that too. Paulie after a game in Watertown, I guess like they called the cops, and so then one of our Paulie said in the locker room, he's like, it wouldn't be a Prowlers win if the cops didn't come, right? So then we come back home last weekend, and someone's got a sign that says it wouldn't be a Prowlers win if the cops weren't there. And it's like just funny to see that stuff because like they've had access to it now because they see things like that. It makes them feel like closer to the team as well too, right? So it's
absolutely, it's
awesome all around, and like as an organization, I think like everyone's done a great job. Like even going like now, like talking about the videographer on this this podcast. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Anything you want to end off with?
No, not really. Just excited. I think it's exciting to see where where the league has gone and like what we've been able to do with it. The strides over the the past. It's like I said, I've been a part of it or involved since 2013 off and on. And just like over the last 4 or 5 years to see where we're at now and like what it's come from is really exciting. And I think if we can continue to make steps in the right direction, whether it's organizationally, like how we have, or, adding like high level players and stuff like that, it's only going to do, more good things for the league and continue to elevate it. So it's been awesome to see. And then like, the media coverage and like the things like, like FPHL Beyond the Glass, like things like that, have obviously been awesome for it as well too. I haven't tuned into every episode, but yeah, they, when they pop up every Wednesday, it's like, it gives fans something else, more content that they're craving. So it's been good. And like you've done a great job with this as well too. So,
well, I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm excited to see what's next for the league, excited to see what's next for you guys, and congratulations on everything you've achieved, and good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, Matt. Playoffs are almost here. Let's do our proof of attendance token code. The proof of attendance token code for watching this episode is Prowlers. Enter the code at swanhockey.io on the podcast page, and you will be eligible to receive your proof of attendance token for watching this episode. Codes must be entered by 9 p.m. Eastern the night that this show airs, Wednesday night. Our magic number is 5. Collect 5 or more of these tokens, and you will have access to the member-only chat inside Club Fed in the Swan Hockey Discord server. That's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you for being the best part of this episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass by Swan Hockey. We will see you soon.